How many of you did keep change opposite first? And then you used your distributive property? Okay. So you should have gotten 2k plus, there's negative 10, is less than 6. Okay, you put your wall up and you subtract negative 10. That is exactly the same as adding 10 to both sides. 2k is less than 16. We're going to divide both sides by 2. Should you hear a dinging on this one? No, you're right. I see your head shaking. So k is less than 8. Okay. Grayson, open circle or solid dot on this? 8. Open circle. Shading with, yep. Good. Okay. B, you should have done keep change opposite. So it would be negative 4 times n plus negative 10 is less than 32. Okay. So distribute, because we can simplify. Here you get negative 4n plus negative 4 times negative 10. A negative times a negative is a positive, and you get 40 is less than 32. Put your wall up and subtract 40 on both sides. And these cancel, leaving you with negative 4n is less than, I'm going to keep change opposite, and I get negative 8. Okay, divide both sides by negative 4. Do I hear a dinging on this? Yes, so n is greater than 2. Okay, Blake, open circle or solid dot on 2? Good. Okay, and then if you guys notice on C, isn't it backwards? I'm going to rewrite that with this 0.5. Oh, I already did that. 0.5 on the left. Okay, and then times 8 plus y. And notice how this inequality is opened up to the 0.5. So I got to put greater than or equal to negative 3. Put your before you put your wall up, we got to distribute. What do you get when you take 0.5 times 8? What do you get there, Ellie? Yep, that's very good. 4 plus, and then this is going to still have to stay 0.5y is greater than or equal to negative 3. Okay, so then we're going to put our wall up and subtract 4 on both sides. And we get 0.5y is greater than or equal to, keep change opposite, and I get negative 7. Okay, divide both sides by 0.5. Should we hear the dinging here? No, so we do not switch the inequality. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. We have to take 7 and divide by 0.5. Well, can't do that. I got to move the decimal over, right? And that's 70. Okay? So 5 goes into 70, or 7 one time. That's 2 and 0. That's a 14. So you get y is greater than or equal to negative 14. Mateo, do you have a question? Okay, so open circle or solid dot on negative 14, Christina? Good. Very good. Okay. What are we going to do first? Grayson? Just a 3? You got to add it to both sides, right? Okay, 8y is less than what? Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. How many of you got y is less than 1? Good. Open circle or solid dot on 1. Um, Jace. Jace. Shading. Left. Okay. So Eli says we're going to subtract 8 on both sides. That leaves us with what, Eli? Uh-huh. Okay, we're going to drop down the negative 4/3 h, right, and the symbol. Now what do we do, Lucas? Dividing just by 4/3. Negative 4/3. Lucas, do you hear anything? So that means h is going to be what? Not less than, but greater than. Okay, now you guys on the right hand side, we can't do negative 6 divided by negative 4/3. It's negative 6 over 1 times the reciprocal, which is negative 3/4. So I am going to cancel. You don't have to, but I'm going to cancel. That becomes a 2. That becomes a 3. Negative times a negative is a positive. And we get 9 over 2. What is exactly the same as 9 over 2 as a mixed number? What is that exactly the same as? 9 over 2. Andrew, you're going to need to contact the tech department. Grayson? You got to unmute yourself. I can't. Yeah, that always helps if you unmute yourself, right? So, well, yeah. So here we have 4. One hash mark is 4.5. The next one is 5. So we are going to put an open circle here, and we are going to be shading to the right. Okay. Uh-huh. Subtract. What's that the same as, Mateo? Adding 5.3, right? Okay. So what does that leave me with? Uh-huh. And then you're greater than or equal to. Then what do we do? Uh-huh. Did you hear anything, Mateo? Right? So that leaves me with m as what? It's negative 6. How many of you got negative 6? Because remember, you guys, we cannot divide by a negative. That decimal point is going to have to move over one spot, and then it moves over one spot in the numerator. So it's really 72 divided by negative 12, which is negative 6. Okay. Morgan, is that going to be an open circle or a solid dot on negative 6? Shading. No, your other right, which is left. Because this says any number less than or equal to negative 6. Okay? And we are going to go ahead and do our distributive property. Here we get negative 1/4 d. plus, here we're going to get negative 1/4 is less than 2. I'm going to put my wall up. I'm going to subtract negative 1/4 on both sides, which is the same as adding 1/4, isn't it? Yep. So we get negative 1/4 D is less than, well, you guys, this is 2 plus 1/4, which is just 2 1/4. Okay? I want to make that improper simply because I'm going to have to divide by a fraction. So when I get mad, make it improper. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So this is going to be 9/4. And I am going to go ahead and put my wall up and divide by negative 1/4. Do you hear dinging? Huh? Yep. Okay. So D is greater than, I have to take 9/4. I can't divide. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of negative 1/4, which is negative 4/1. These cancel and become 1s. Positive times a negative is negative, and I get negative 9. Make sense?